Hello, everyone. This is Donna Valente. I'm a leadership and sales coach for Business Development University, and happy holidays. I hope you don't spend too much on my present today, but I got you guys a present. And the reason why is we're at 2019, and everybody has to reboot, right? So our business, we're frontline people, and we have a lot of stress in sales. We carry the weight of everything. So I thought it would be a great idea to get a mindfulness business coach on to help us be able to unwind so that we can be more high performing. So my gift to you is MariaFanelli. She is a professional business and mindfulness coach. And let me give you a little bit about her background. She is a graduate from the Wharton School. Mm-hmm. She has her MBA from Villanova. Yep. She's been practicing mindfulness for, oh my God, 15 years?
15 years.
15 years. She used to work in a leadership roles at the University of Pennsylvania, and then had the medical the divisions. Right. And she also worked for E-Minds, which is
E-Mindful, yes.
E-Mindful, which she was a director of
teachers
that are teaching mindfulness.
That's
so
right.
welcome
Thank you.
to the
It's so
show.
awesome to be here.
Maria and I met at Wharton. Maybe we met at a bar. I'm not really sure, but we did go to school together.
Maybe both.
And we learned what it's like to have post-traumatic stress, and that's probably why you got into mindfulness.
We still have it from Wharton.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I want to kind of put some context around this and why I decided to have you on the show.
Sure.
So, we really, as sales leaders and reps, like a lot of businesses, are packed 24/7. Like our days are like, if you have we have 164 hours in a week, right? And we're slicing that up. I would say that most of that is spent during work. Yep. In stress events, where we always
have pressure.
Always have to be on point. Always have to be able to pick up the phone and be able to communicate effectively. Always have to be managing a schedule where you're going and building your hubs to go out and see your clients.
That's right.
And then you have you're having to manage your quota, having to manage your pipeline, and having
make your clients happy.
If you got 100 clients, it's a lot of conversations, it's a lot of stress, and it's a lot of pressure. So I found for myself that practicing mindfulness has been very helpful in reducing my stress.
Absolutely.
Right? And I actually have a course coming up. It's called the Empathy Selling, the Selling Advantage. Right? So when you talk to salespeople about mindfulness and empathy, they're like, "What?
What is that?"
So they think
crazy.
Yeah, they think like, oh, it's this California woo-woo, right-minded stuff. Hey, I'm strong. I'm a problem solver. I got to be on point. Like they think they're going to be falling asleep in a chair for the rest of their life. It's crazy. So I want to kind of give them some perspective.
Okay.
Mindfulness has made it through the other sides of business. That's right. It hasn't really hit sales. I'm trying to do the rise of the empath for sales. This is a good way to connect, because without empathy, you can't connect. But without having mindfulness, you can't develop empathy.
Forget it. You're not going to be high functioning without it. Yes. So if you want to be on top of your game, this is the way to go.
Yeah. So give us some context to what mindfulness can look like in the business, in the corporation, and what mindfulness maybe is. Like level set it. That's a better question. Tell us what mindfulness really is.
Well, I do want to say I used to think it was very woo-woo myself. Yeah. And being a business person and type A personality, I'm thinking, I don't know. But I was really stressed at one point, and I was just open-minded, and I decided to go through a program. And it actually changed my life in many positive ways. And I felt like I was more productive at work. I was able to function better. I felt like I had better work-life balance. I'm like, what is this? And I actually went back to school. I have another master's as well in meditation and mindfulness. And I focused all of my research on using mindfulness and meditation in the workplace to decrease stress and decrease anxiety, because I had so many positive benefits. So a big thing that comes up really, and why a lot of corporations are using mindfulness programs in the workplace now, is stress. And like you said, with sales, you are on all the time. It's
the burden
relentless.
is on us. The burden is on us.
You have to do everything,
Yeah.
and please your clients, and reach your numbers, and make your company happy. So a lot of it's stress, and what they're finding is through the research, and it's just remarkable. First of all, a new research survey came out last year, just 2017, that U.S. companies alone are spending $500 billion, losing that actually in lost productivity because of stress in the workplace. So it was really interesting. When I was director of teachers for eMindful, one of our and we did like online mindfulness programs for corporations. One of our largest clients was Aetna Insurance Company. And the CEO of Aetna Insurance, Mark Bertolini, decided, he's like, I want to start incorporating these mindfulness programs in the workplace because they really helped me be the CEO, of Aetna, and he was working through some personal things too, and he found all these benefits. So he rolled out these mindfulness programs to the workplace. He also had like an option to do a yoga program, and he did it with a quarter of his corporation. So there were about 13,000 employees that took the programs.
Any of them salespeople?
I don't know, but this relates to sales, because what he found was that at the end of the year, for each of these employees on average, he got an additional week and a half of productivity back from them.
Wow.
And when he equated that financially, it was $39 million in additional productivity.
Wow.
And I don't know if you remember, but he gave everybody in his company a big raise. So it really worked out well. And he got like for every dollar he invested in the programs, he got 10% return. Not 10%, it's like 1,000%, but 10-to-1 return. So companies are really finding this beneficial. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of it's stress, just reducing stress. So you bring up sales. So let me just think if I could come up with an example. Suppose you are trying to land, a big account by the end of the month. Comes up a lot, right? You need to reach your numbers, get your accounts, but you're trying to please your clients. You want to have good products and services for them too. And your client's really happy, they really want to work with you, they want to close, but they're not under your timeline here. You need to close by the end of the month.
That's right.
For them, they're like, yeah, we're going to work with you, we love what you're offering. And you're like, oh my gosh. Well, when we're stressed, so let's just say that's going to add some stress, right?
Yes, it does.
When you're stressed, and you probably can relate to this, a lot of times our thoughts are very exaggerated.
Oh yeah.
They're very distorted, and they're very catastrophic. Yeah. So instead of thinking, oh, what a wonderful client, we're thinking, oh my gosh, we're not going to close on time. How am I going to get this business? Right. Oh, I'm going to lose my house. I'm not going to make money. I'm going to lose my job. It's like we know right there. Tree. So how effective do you think you're going to be with the client and closing the deal?
Mine shuts down. Talk about the physiological. What happens to your brain?
This is what happens. So you just bring it up. When you are stressed, because you're in the stress mode, everything in your brain is connected. We have all this stress, cortisol flying through our brain. You're not able to problem solve that well. In fact, you're not making very good decisions. That probably doesn't happen to you, but it happens to a lot of people, right? And you're not able to be creative. Those parts of your brain completely shut down. Yeah. What they're finding with mindfulness is they've done so much research. It's so scientific based, which I love. It's like scientific, evidence-based research. Is that they're finding that a lot of times with anxiety and depression, which a lot of people suffer from, unfortunately, that there's an area in your brain called the right prefrontal cortex, and it really lights up in these like fMRIs, and they show that we start to develop these pathways. So every time we're stressed, we go right to that pathway. It's like, let's go to this right prefrontal cortex. And that's the area for anxiety, depression, negative mood, negative thoughts about ourselves, everything else. When you start practicing mindfulness, you really leave those thoughts aside. You're able to do it. You're able to focus on now. You're able to focus on the present, focus on now. And they're showing that the left prefrontal cortex starts to light up. That's the area for focus, calm, attention, awareness. And when that happens, you're also able to problem solve, be creative, make better decisions, and really be connected to your client or what it is that you need to take care of. You're not lost in your thought.
Yeah.
Most of the time we're lost in our thoughts all day long.
You can presence yourself.
That's right.
Through you can self-regulate in a way that you can't if you're operating, from a stress event and you're scattered.
Yes, and so the scary thing is, and this is why it's really important that, I think I'm so passionate about mindfulness, is that most of us are functioning in this stress type of state. It's actually really chronic right now, particularly in the US with businesses, salespeople, all kinds of people, that we're operating from this stress zone 24/7. We're not turning it off. And why? For psychological reasons, because it's our thoughts are generating it. All these little worries, money worries, work worries, stuff at home, pets.
Well,
right?
and technology has got us addicted to
That's a
instant
whole other
gratification.
thing.
It is.
That's
It's a whole
right.
different thing. But this
No,
instant
that's right.
gratification and feeling like you have to be, responding right away. I have to respond right away.
That's
I have
right.
to get back to you right away. That you're not giving yourself. I see it in salespeople all the time.
Well,
Not giving
and it
themselves
disrupts the nervous system, that digital addiction too. So all this stuff is happening. So we have our own personal worries,
Yeah.
we have work worries, we have world worries, and then our pants are tight and we're having a bad hair day on top of it. So it's not turning off.
Okay.
And stress was never meant to be like that. It was meant to, like, let's just suppose I'm trying to cross the street out here real quick and some woman's flying by in her sports car. And I need to, like, run out of the way
Yeah.
or get back to where I was.
Yeah.
And so I do. I jump over the car. I get to where I'm going. And then my body goes back to a normal state.
Right.
That's what stress is for. But what's happening is because we're thinking all these worrisome thoughts, it's not turning off. And we're in this fight or flight state
Yep.
all day long.
Yep. I'm going to pause you right there. We have to go to commercial break. We'll see you in a minute. Thank you.
Great.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Donna Valente, Coach V, if you would, and I have with me again MariaFanelli, who is a mindfulness business leader. And one thing I didn't ask you about. Tell me a little bit about your company, what you do with your business.
For years, after I left my business position, I actually had my own company just delivering mindfulness to the workplace because I believe so strongly in it. So that's what I've been doing now for quite some time, well over 10 years.
Oh, awesome.
So programs, courses, consultation, I do a lot of presentations, I do a lot of workshops for corporations, and I'm a mindful life coach for business professionals. So I'm really focusing on the workplace and business professionals.
That's great. That's fantastic. All right. So we left off talking about our constant state of stress, not understanding how to shut it down.
Yeah.
Because, it's fueling. I think one of the things you used to say is your thoughts are what fuels
That's right.
your emotion. So if you can't get your emotion.
That's right.
Go ahead.
All right, so let's take it from there. So this is what's happening. We're having like a little stressful thought. Meanwhile, we're just sitting at our desk trying to do our work, but we're worrying about stuff when we have to go home, and we're worried about getting presents for the holidays. All this stuff is going on, whatever. A million thoughts coming in.
Yeah.
That little thought triggers, it talks to all our cells. It triggers an emotion in our body, so maybe we feel a little bit of anxiety. That triggers body sensations, so maybe we feel a little constriction in our chest, our blood pressure is rising, and that triggers a stronger thought. And it cycles around. But we don't just have one worry, we have a million stressful events and worries. So I call it the stress tornado.
Yeah.
So, because that's like how we're living.
Yeah.
Right? We're wondering why it's like this, and we're never present. Think about driving somewhere. I use this example. A lot of people, you get to your destination, you're like, oh my gosh, where was I like the last 15, 20 minutes? Like, I don't even know how I got here. That's how we're operating all day. So I could teach you a great little technique.
Let's do it.
That people can use all day long. I love doing it between transitions, before I start a project, before I make a phone call, before I get in my car. And if you're stressed, it's really good to do for about 90 seconds, because neuroscientist Jill Bolte Taylor said, an emotion only lasts 90 seconds. It's our thoughts that fuel it.
Yep.
So the practice is really simple. People love to do it. It's so easy to remember. It's called STOP.
Oh, I know this. I use it all the time. You taught me that when we
Right.
did our workshop together.
Great. So
Yeah.
it's like S stands for stop, T stands for take a focused breath, which means bring your attention to it. O stands for just observe what's going on with you right now, and we'll do it together. And P stands for proceed. It's a reboot. It's like a restart, or it's to calm that whole stress reaction so you could be more present, be more focused, think more clearly, or stay on task. All right?
And so just to, make sure everybody understands
Yes.
really, this isn't like an emergency kind of stress. This is your daily kind of stress. Like
Oh.
everybody's in it and they just don't
They
realize
don't know it. They're actually operating
Yeah.
in chronic stress. I use this like little curve. Like when you have enough pressure, your performance is good, you're thriving.
Yeah.
But we're usually over that curve right
Yeah.
now. We're starting to go into chronic stress, anxiety, depression, higher blood pressure, blood sugars, not thinking clearly, can't remember things, can't, all this stuff, are not learning well. And then we start to have weakened immune systems, start to get sick, everything. And mindfulness helps with all of that.
All right, so
ready?
let's do
We're
your
gonna do it?
stop thing. Do I need to take my glasses off?
No, you just need to
I'm
stop.
so embarrassed. Ready?
All right, so just stop. If your viewers are watching, just put down your phone, stop what you're doing. That's the first thing. And just feel your body. Closing your eyes is good too. Feel your body sitting here. And
Don't
just
cheat, people.
feel
Close your eyes.
Yeah, feel your body breathing. So that's stop. You're just feeling yourself sitting here breathing. T is take a focused breath. So actually feel that full inhale flowing into your body and feel that full exhale. You're bringing your full attention to it. Let's do one more for good measure. The O stands for observe. So you just want to observe, boy, where's my mind right now? And what's happening with my body? And if you're noticing any tension, just begin to soften that. A lot of times if we're stressed, we experience tension in the jaw, the neck and shoulders, our chest feels a little tighter, the stomach muscles. So just soften your whole body, soften the arms and legs. And then, now you're much more present. You've let go of your thoughts a little bit, you're connected to yourself, and now you could open your eyes. And now is P for proceed. So it's really just taking that little pause. And so now you're at P for proceed, maybe you decide you're going to have a totally different action. Maybe you're not going to send that email. Or maybe you're not going to get that chocolate chip cookie, you're going to have a cup of tea instead. It's a really great way just to bring you back to the present, refocus, and then make a decision from there. So with mindfulness, from practice, we learn how to do this on a regular basis so that it puts us more in control, more in charge, where we can choose how we want to respond to something. Because otherwise, what we're doing all day is reacting to this. Someone said this, someone said that. I got to do this. And we're not centered. We're not in control. We're all over the place. And people think, well, I have to multitask. But actually, studies have shown that it's not even possible to multitask. And even just shifting your attention a little bit throughout the day, they've shown that people lose 40% of productivity. So this could, if you were in sales, you want to be on top of your game. You want to be clear-headed. You want to be really connected to your client, you want to, be in touch with them.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to be thinking about what you're going to say next, all this other stuff, what I have to do for the holidays. You want to be with them, and you want to be on task so you could deliver high quality service, products, whatever it is.
Well, and so in my empathy class,
yes,
one of the things that I got from the Coach Training Institute was the idea of the 3 levels of listening. And then there's 3 levels of conversation. So if you're listening at level 1, right, it's just like, hey, man, Maria, the traffic coming over here was like horrendous. Mm-hmm. And you say right away, oh my God, yeah, but instead of being, oh man, I'm sorry, how was that for you, right? Because you're all about yourself, and you're in level 1. Level 2 is when you get that deeper connection, when your focus is on the client.
That's right.
And I think, because sales reps, and really every business, we're supposed to be problem solvers. And so sometimes we're trying to problem solve instead of really just sitting with the person and understanding their situation and not feeling like you have an agenda. And that softening up of self through self-regulation because you just did some mindfulness is really critical to that.
It's critical.
And I will tell you, I think for myself, I find that I actually perform better when I didn't have all this technology. Because
probably more in the moment. Now we're constantly checking, see if everybody's getting back to us. We have to respond right away.
Right.
And the thing is, when you practice mindfulness, you're able to slow that down, turn it off, say, no, you know what, I really don't need to check my email right now. I really don't need to do that. I need to stay on my task. You sit down and do your project, put together your proposal for your client, whatever it is, and then as soon as you sit down, you're like, well, maybe I should get a snack first, or I should make this phone call first, or maybe I should start something else. We're really good procrastinators and avoiders. With mindfulness, you notice this urge coming up to do that, and you're like, oh no, I'm going to focus on this for the next 20 minutes.
Your body's telling you. Your body's giving you
because you're tuned in.
Yeah.
You're able to, like you said, self-regulate or have a little bit more control, be able to manage stuff. So you're way more productive, you're way more focused. You're happier. You're not taking it home with you at night. You're able to be home when you're home and be at work when you're at work.
Yeah, and this isn't like, we're not trying to say everybody's so overwhelmed or stressed that they have ADD.
Nobody is.
Yeah, no, but it's high-performing people who have a lot to do.
That's right.
And a lot to manage and a lot of priorities that are pretty much competing.
That's right.
You are going to have those stress events. It doesn't mean you're scattered. It just means you have to pause. Is that what?
Yes, the stress is not going to stop. The stressful events are not going to stop. The pressure on you is not going to stop. The only thing that you could change is how you're going to manage that.
Right.
And if you're into performance, I mean, this is what really turned the corner for me. I love to perform. I really want to be a high performer and excel in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This is what worked for me. So I know it works, and I'm a much happier person. I'm much healthier. I mean, the research they show with mindfulness is people have improved immune systems. They actually have increased energy, less fatigue, less rumination going over and over these thoughts. Their blood works much better, lower blood pressure. You have much, the left prefrontal cortex, like I said, lights up with focus, calm, attentiveness, awareness. And it's starting to show, they're doing a lot of research with reversing premature aging, because that's a whole other, you know, show we could do. It's amazing.
Yeah, and how many times a day should somebody be doing this? And then we have to wrap up.
Okay, so you know, there's a course you could take. I mean, all the research is based on people going through an 8-week course. 8 weeks might sound like a lot, but if it's the rest of your life, it's really not that much at all.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes part of your life. And then you could do like shorter practices throughout the day, or do like a little stop practice, like I told you. I mean, this just helps people that's all they do, but they do it enough during the day that they're starting to change the pathways in their brain.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of mindfulness. You change your brain, which changes your cells and changes your body. So it's a life-changing, transformational type of practice.
That's awesome. Why don't you tell everybody how we can get a hold of you so we can schedule appointments?
If anybody has any questions, if you just want to find out about programs in your area, there's some great programs around here at Jefferson and Penn. I also teach workplace programs online. I do mindful coaching. Like I said, I do presentations, workshops. You can just email me at MariaFanelli.com. It's F as in Frank, A-N-E-L-L-I, Maria@MariaFanelli.com. And I have a website, MariaFanelli.com. So very easy.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
You are brilliant. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Happy
Thanks,
holidays.
everyone.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Have a great holiday, everybody.